Welcome back to Dan Fix. Hi, I'm Dan. Most people throw away this kind of foam without thinking twice. It's light, bulky, and seems useless once it's been used for packaging. But when it's combined with the right material in the right way, this simple waste can actually help you save hundreds of dollars and solve real problems around your home. Today, we're going to test that idea together. And I won't just show one result. We're going to build two versions side by side and compare them so you can clearly see. Let's start with the foam. Take pieces of styrofoam and break them into smaller chunks. Snap them by hand. Try not to leave large pieces, but smaller pieces will process more evenly later. Now place the foam into a blender. At first it may feel strange using a kitchen tool for this, but it works surprisingly well. Press the foam down gently before turning the machine on. This detail matters. Foam is extremely light, and most of its volume is actually air. If you don't compress it slightly, the spinning blades will just push it upward, and it won't break down properly. Turn the blender on and let it run for a few seconds. You'll see the foam transform into a fine, fluffy material, almost like artificial snow. Styrofoam is made mostly of air trapped inside a thin structure of polystyrene. That's why it's so light. Because when mixed into another material, it can reduce weight significantly without completely removing structure. Now here's something to think about. Looking at this powder, what do you think we're going to turn it into? We're not revealing that just yet. Let's keep going. To keep everything consistent, use identical plastic cups for measuring. Fill 4 cups with the crushed foam. Then measure 3 cups of sand and 1 cup of cement. The ratio is important, but it can be adjusted depending on what you need. More cement increases strength, more foam reduces weight. Each material plays a role. Sand creates the internal structure. It gives the mixture body and helps it resist compression. Cement acts as the binder. When it reacts with water, it hardens and locks everything together. Now we add one more component. Mix a small amount of white glue with water. This is our additive. Stir it until it becomes a smooth liquid. This mixture improves adhesion and helps reduce internal voids. In simple terms, it allows the particles to stick together more evenly and reduces weak spots inside the final piece. Now we begin the main mix. Start by combining the cement and sand in a container. Mix them dry first so the particles distribute evenly. Then slowly pour in the glue and water solution. Use a trowel to fold and press the mixture together. Move from the edges toward the center, breaking up any clumps as you go. Watch the consistency closely. If the mixture feels too dry, it won't bind properly. If it becomes too wet, it may lose strength after curing. You're aiming for a thick, workable texture that holds its shape but still spreads smoothly. At this stage, we split the process into 2 versions. The first version is the standard mix. No foam added. This will be our reference. Before pouring, prepare the molds. Take 2 identical molds, either plastic or wood, and apply a thin layer of used oil to the inside. Spread it evenly using a brush. The oil acts as a release agent. It prevents the cement from sticking to the mold, making it easier to remove later. Be careful not to use too much. If oil pools at the bottom, it can affect the surface finish and create weak spots. A thin, even coating is enough. Now I'm curious. Would you stick with the traditional version, or would you go with the lighter one? And where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas and how you might use this in your own projects. Now pour the first batch into the mold. Scoop the mixture in and press it down gently. Use the trowel to smooth the surface. Tap the sides lightly to release trapped air. cement begins to set but is not fully hardened. This is the best time to remove it from the mold. If you wait too long, it may stick more firmly. If you remove it too early, it may lose shape. Timing here makes a big difference. Now we move to the second version. Take the same base mixture and add the crushed foam. Mix it slowly and thoroughly. You'll notice the texture change immediately. The mixture becomes lighter and slightly more elastic. Make sure the foam is evenly distributed. If it clumps in one area, that section may become weak or hollow. Use the trowel to press down into the mixture, helping it settle and compact. This step reduces large air pockets and improves consistency. Once it's mixed well, pour it into the second mold. Again, press it down, smooth the surface, and tap the sides lightly. After the same amount of time, remove it from the mold, just like the first version. Now both samples are ready for curing. Place them on a flat surface and keep them slightly moist over the next several days. This process is called curing. Curing allows the cement to fully develop its strength. If it dries too quickly, it can crack or become weaker than expected. Keeping it damp helps the internal chemical reaction continue properly. So, where can this be useful? Lightweight blocks like this are easier to transport, easier to install, and reduce load on structures. For small projects around the house, this can save both time and effort. And it all started from something most people would throw away. So, next time you see foam like this, you might want to look at it differently. It's not just waste. It's a material waiting to be used in a smarter way. After several days, we move to testing. First, let's compare the weight. The standard block weighs around 2.7 kilograms. The foam version weighs about 1.3 kilograms. That's nearly a 50% reduction, but weight alone doesn't tell the full story. The real question is strength. The surprising part is that both versions feel very similar in terms of hardness. This tells you something important. By adding foam, we reduced weight significantly without losing much structural strength. If this was helpful, share it with someone who enjoys building things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.